out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You are tuned in to Apartment 5B podcast hosted by your man Kill. I got my squad with me in effect as always. I got my brother from NO out here, Neltron. What's going on, fam?
Salute. Peace, everybody. Happy to be here, man.
No doubt. We got my man Into the Dome. Tone, what's going on, fam?
It's been a minute, Playboy. We here.
No doubt. Got my brother out of LA, way of Brooklyn. Eddie, what's going on, fam?
What's good?
I feel you out here with all this Mets memorabilia on while y'all kicking the Phillies ass. I get it. And I got my brother Vay from Brooklyn. What's going on, fam?
Playoff berth clinched. You see how I'm dressed?
I do.
Hey, Jay, you see the hat, right?
Tone know what's up. You got the hat.
Come on, baby.
I feel you. All right, y'all already know me. Let's jump right into it. Yo, this week, we are saluting the year of 1999. Prayerfully, if you rock with Apartment 5B, we do these year shows. We talk about the dopest albums, slept on albums. This time, we're going to talk about some disappointing albums, too. Who's the dopest MC and everything like that. And the reason that I love doing these shows is because for a lot of younger viewers, it kind of helps them to understand what was going on. If you kind of watch these shows in order, you get to see so much. And even if you're not younger, even if you're our age, what I love about these shows is you're able to kind of see like, oh, this is when such and such fell off, or this is when that fad in hip hop died and a new fad started and different things like that. So you're kind of getting a chronological order of how things happen in hip hop. And we are up to the year of 1999, the year right before the new millennium, which is crazy, y'all. I don't know if y'all seen the preview for this movie. It's called Y2K. And it's kind of like a comedy horror movie about like what would have happened. Because people forget, like they was talking a lot of wild shit was supposed to happen on Y2K. Yeah. It was like the world was going to end and the satellites was going to fall from the skies and money was just going to, everything was just going to, people were like on like at 1999 and like that 11:58, it was like, yo, like, I remember I was in Philly with my mom was like praying, like, yo, I hope everything good. You know what I mean? Like, because now we look back and laugh, but that shit was serious at that time. So this is the year right before the new millennium. We're going to be chopping it up about, like I said, the dopest albums, slept on albums, your top 5 albums. I'm going to get started with my number 5 album from that year. My number 5 album is Mos Def, Black on Both Sides. Just an incredibly dope album for me. I won't hold you, at the time when it dropped, I was a little disappointed in it, probably just because at that time after the Black Star album, I really was like, yo, this nigga Mos is a star. Like, I was like, yo, this dude could really be the next one. And I wasn't talking about one like multi-million record selling. I'm just talking about this dude can do it all as an MC. He has everything. Like, this is the voice, the flow, the bars, the just everything about this boy screams star. So I think I was just expecting some 5 mic classic, and to me it's a very good album. I mean, maybe 4.5, 4 and a pass, but I love the album. I mean, of course, Miss Fat Booty, which still bangs to this day, Primo's Mathematics, Umi Says, Hip Hop, Mr. Nigga. Love the album. So that's my number 5 hip hop album for that year. And I've also got some R&B joints on here. So I'm gonna start with, at number 5, we're gonna go with 100% Genuine by Genuine. At that time, I was a huge Timbaland fan. Anything that said produced by Timbaland, I was copping. Dope album, it's none of your friends' business. One of my favorite songs ever is So Anxious. So I mean, that joint is on there. Just incredible production. So Those are my two number 5 albums. Neltron, what is your number 5 album in hip hop and R&B if you have it?
All right. For hip hop, this guy was a part of Organized Confusion. He dropped his solo on Rawkus. That's Pharoahe Monch, Internal Affairs. That album, the intro got me, and then the way he sampled Maxwell, Till the Cops Come. He had the features. I think the album could have been a classic if they would have trimmed the fat with the Busta Rhymes album, The Ass, and just like maybe one more. But Cannabis was on there spitting, Common's on there spitting. Just a very dope album. And at that time, I think Tone and Big did an episode about the Rawkus, the era. And that was one of those albums like, okay, Pharoahe's here. He was nice on with Organized Confusion, but he's on his own now. Production was stellar. And yeah, that's my number 5 on hip hop. R&B, I don't have the R&B in order, but
just throw one out there.
Yeah, I have Donnell Jones, Where I Want to Be. This album, so 99, I'm 21. So I'm legal, I could gamble, I could go to strip clubs, I'm in a relationship, you know what I mean? And my girl, we having some tough times, and then this song comes out, Where I Want to Be is like, you know the lyrics, like when you love somebody, you know, and you're not ready, you ready to move on, you want to cheat and all this kind of stuff. So that song, and then he dropped the one with Left Eye. Crazy. So that album.
You know what's up, man?
Yeah,
you know what's up.
Yeah, they have 2 versions. Yeah, killer album, very chill, and Donnell was in his bag. I mean, he came out with an album before that, but Where I Want to Be is a very dope album of that year. So that's my R&B.
Yo, here's the crazy thing, man. We don't talk enough about Left Eye's features. Like, Left Eye blazed that joint. Like, blazed that joint. You know, and I never even looked at Left Eye as like a real MC. I'm like, yeah, you in TLC. But that verse on that Donnell Jones joint, somebody pissed off. Somebody made, you know, what was the boy? Andre Rison. Somebody pissed off or something. That nigga came to the studio focused, like, yeah, let's work. Tone, what you got for your number 5, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mob Deep Murder Music. You know what I'm saying? Like when you coming out the infamous and Hell on Earth, man, you know, them expectations super high, then the joint got leaked, but they still found a way. When cats heard that damn Quiet Storm was just Prodigy, even just that version, you like, yo, P is killing this joint, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, the remixing have been a classic, you know, that Where Your Heart At, that was on Into Deep soundtrack. Obviously, Cool G Rap's totally murked the joint, The Realest.
The realness.
The realest. Bullets ain't racial, kid. They hate you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's an awesome album, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they didn't miss a beat to me. You know, that was 3 for 3. I mean, we know Juvenile Hell when they was kids or whatever, but the next 3, man, you know, give most 3 album runs a run for their money. You know what I'm saying? So I was totally satisfied. R&B side, man, I like Khalees number 5 Kaleidoscope. I think
that's it.
Man, Pharrell and Chad, man, the production on that joint was real dope for me. I like that joint, good stuff, you know what I mean? Khalees had flavor, man, and I think that You Took My Heart From Me or something like that, man. It was just dope beats. She had a unique voice to me. I even like the way she talked, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was a sleeper for me, man. So those 2 I start with.
All right, Eddie, what you got, bro?
Yo, sorry, I'm with Tone. I got Mob Deep Murder Music as my number 5 joint. You know, I think they kept the momentum from the infamous and Hell on Earth, but I don't know if Murder Music is as good as an incredible 3 album run, right? I don't know if it's better than either Hell on Earth or the infamous, but it's still an incredible album. You know, the leak, you know, like Tone said, I think everyone was anticipating, but you know, Quiet Storm, Where Your Heart At, Illustrious, that joint with Cool G Rap, you know, The Realest, It's Mine with Nas, like, you know, they have some joints on there. I think, you know, the one thing you hear on this album is Havoc's production was still evolving. So, you know what I'm saying? If you got used to that really, really dark production on Hell on Earth, you didn't really get that. Like, he was still evolving, you know what I'm saying? Which is a good thing. You don't want 3 albums that sounded like it was just different, but definitely a dope album.
Mm-hmm.
All right, no doubt. Vay, what you got for your number 5?
I also got Mos Def, Black on Both Sides. Yeah, man, I feel like you. I felt like Mos was a star, and all he needed was that solo album. When I heard Miss Fat Booty, I was like, that's the perfect single. He has the charisma. It's not even that deep. Like, even the part like how you gonna leave before you dance with me, like that's some relatable shit.
Yeah,
that's
right.
a line you might be used to hearing. Then obviously songs like Mathematics, which on Strictly Hip Hop we ran into the ground. Like, it's ridiculous. I almost don't even like the song now because of it. Yeah, but like for the most part, Omi Says, of course, which is weird because I saw him perform not that long ago, and he did a couple of joints because this was a show with a couple different people on it. But when he did that one, that's just the one for him because the crowd was locked in when he did Omi Says, which is crazy. But yeah, man, I thought it was a dope album. It was different from everything else that was out. And like you said, man, like, this is 99, so I think I said this on Twitter, like, there's like rappers thought the end of the world, they thought either the end of the world was going to happen or cars and shit were going to start flying all of a sudden. All the videos were computerized and futuristic, from Nas to Missy, but the album spread is so all over the place, to be honest. You kind of get a little bit of everything in 1999, and this for Mos Def was dope. So yeah, that's my 5. I don't have an R&B though.
All right, no doubt. Number 4, I got this joint right here, Musical Massacre by the Beat Nuts. If you know me, you know I love the Nuts.
Yeah.
That was a bad thing. I love the Beat Nuts. I love the Beat Nuts. I don't do pause. I'm too old for that shit, but that did not come out right. I love the Beat Nuts.
It's all right, though. We get it.
Yeah,
Beat Nuts Forever was just crazy to me. Love that. I mean, you got my favorite Beat Nuts song, Watch Out Now. I love Watch Out Now, man. You talk about something I can just run on repeat. And it's crazy because it literally follows the exact same template of what's the joint with Pun? That like Off the Books. It literally follows the exact same template. I think it's the same tempo. Like, it's the exact same thing. And it's crazy because I'm one of the few people who did not love Off the Books. I thought it was cool. I did not love it like that. But then Watch Out Now, I just love that flute sample in it. You got Muchacha, which is crazy. Turn It Out with Greg Nice. You a Clown with R.I.P. Biz. Just a dope album. I won't hold y'all. I think my expectations in 99 were just super high for stuff. You know, like, I did expect this album to be better. I'm not mad at it, but I did expect more from them because this is their 3rd full-length album, not including the EP. So I really thought it would be more, but I do love this album. Number 4 on the R&B tip, 702's album, their sophomore album. Where My Girls At. Missy did an incredible job production-wise, writing on this album. Make Time, You'll Never Know, Gotta Leave, 7, like real dope slow jams on here. I think their name was Tim and Bob. They were some producers who were like big back in the day. They used to do a lot of them crazy weirdo drum shits, which was dope. But that 702 joint is definitely a joint for me. Now, Tron, what you got up for your next one?
All right, number 4, I'm going back on Rawkus. This is the 2nd installment of Sound Bombing 2. The first single I heard of this was 199 with Common and Talib.
Might just be my favorite song of that year. I think 199, if it's not my favorite, it's definitely top 5. And it's one of my top 5 Common songs, too.
Right. As the video came out first, because they didn't play it on the radio down here. So I saw the video. I'm like, yo, what is it? It's a Dodex on there and Talib just doing it. Oh my gosh. So I was like, all right, let me go cop the album. Eminem's on there. Thurston Howell, Pharoahe,
It's the whole Rawkus lineup.
Sir Menelik, Shabam Sadiq,
High and Mighty.
The Mayor song that Pharoahe did on
Mayor.
Yeah, man.
Just that's why Pharoahe is just like he was out of this world with that one.
Hey Neil, did you like the joint Total Chaos with Talib and Bahama Deal?
Yes, of course.
That joint too, man.
Of course. And your boy from Grand Poop was on there. 7XL.
Yeah. Yeah,
man.
So, and Crosstown Beef on there too.
Yes.
Yeah, Crosstown Beef was on there.
Crosstown Beef with his brother, with Mos Def's brother. So Soundbombing 1 was good. It was cool. It was different. It was underground. But Soundbombing 2 was it wasn't polished, but it still was underground, but just good enough to be played in clubs. And that's one of my favorite albums of '99. So on an R&B tip, I have on my number 4. I guess I'm gonna say the Mary album, the Mary J. Blige. What she doing a side profile, you can see the scar on her face.
Yep.
I'm like, wow, the production was different from the first, from 411 in My Life, and I was just like, wow, I'm not the biggest Mary fan. I'm a fan, but I'm not, the biggest. But that Mary album was very, very good. So that's my R&B.
Yo, Tone, what you got up for number 4?
My 4 is Pharoahe, Eternal Affairs, man. I think people that know me know how much I love that album. A lot of people don't know Pharoahe produced several tracks on that joint. He produced on his albums too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the story he did with the Queens, that This Is That Hell joint, I think was with Cannabis. That No Mercy with M.O.P. Then he did the joint with was that with Black Thought and all them on there, close to the end of the album. I can't think of the name of it right now.
Thought ain't on that joint. That's Common and To Live. They got a joint.
Common, right. My fault. But yeah, man, just even the album cover, man, like it's dope, man. I had the high expectations for Pharoahe, obviously with what he did with Organized Confusion, and then hearing Simon Says, I'm like, okay, he got a banger. Got a club banger. We know he's gonna be lyrical on the album. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that joint was just one of the best albums of the year for me. R&B, like my man said, I'm gonna go with Donnell Jones. We already talked about it, man. Smooth joints, very slept on album, and he was slept on artist to me, man. He was very dope, man. You know what I'm saying? Like he had a nice vibe with him, man. I like.
Very dope album cover too. You know what I mean? Like I love the album cover, him getting a cigarette. Lit for the ball while you're on the guitar. So very dope album cover too. Eddie, what you got for number 4?
Yo, I swear Tony's in my notes, man. My number 4 is Internal Affairs as well, man.
All right.
Just an incredible album. I think the album just aged so well. You got joints, obviously the Simon Says and Behind Closed Doors, the singles, but then joints like Queens, the story he told on that joint, Right Here, Official, one of my favorite joints with all the sports references, crazy, The Light, the love song, basically, The Truth with Common and Talib.
Yeah. No
Mercy with M.O.P. was crazy. And of course the Simon Says remix, was crazy, so the album aged really well. I mean, I think the joint that didn't really age well for me was probably maybe the one with Busta was it sounds a little dated now, listening to it now. But that's probably it.
All right, no doubt. Veg, what you got for number 4?
Same album. Pharoahe Monch, Eternal Affairs, for all the same reasons they mentioned. I was still I had 2 years before I was married and had a kid, so I was in prime club season. And Simon Says was getting a lot of burn in the club, and so was Right Here. And y'all already know, if you heard Right Here, to the borough, it kind of lasts a little bit longer, you know what I'm saying? But it's just a dope album, and he shows such a variety with his skill, with his flows, with his range, production. I just hate the fact that the Godzilla sample thing kind of slowed down his momentum, because that felt beyond what Rawkus had been doing and what they were doing when that single blew up, because there were a lot of people who didn't know Pharoahe Monch were now paying attention because of that single. But yeah, again, dope album for all the same reasons the brothers mentioned. So.
Yeah, dope. Number 3, I got 2001 Dre. You know what I mean? I was I think I'm one of very few people. I like the album. I don't love the album. You know what I mean? So I always know I'm on the outside end when talking about this album. But I mean, the joints bang. I mean, The Watcher, Still Dre, What's the Difference? I love the message. You know, shout out to Lord Finesse. Of course, Next Episode. But my favorite joint on there is Explosive. Like, I've always loved that Bumpy Lamont sample, those drums, and Corrupt. That's probably my favorite Corrupt verse ever. I mean, Corrupt just loses. He just blacks the fuck out on that joint. Like, I love Corrupt on that joint. And then number 3 for R&B, I'm going with Dave Hollister with Ghetto Hymns. Man, that, I mean, from My Favorite Girl, Baby Mama Drama, Can't Stay. He redid the Michael McDonald, Keep Forgetting. You got the I'm Sorry, the Fave Girl remix. Just Dave Hollister to me just always is one of the dudes who just got a dope voice, can sing his ass off. The production always matched his style. So definitely Ghetto Hymns is my number 3 over there. Now, Tron, what you got for your third joint?
Number 3, I have this was their 4th installment from your crib, Kill, and that's Things Fall Apart by the Roots. The You Got Me, of course, that's the single. I know Jill Scott wrote it, but Erica, you know, Jill's too, you know, politics, YouTube, you know, whatever. But
to this day, I want to really know, like, no holds barred, don't be polite to everybody. How did that shit go down? Like,
Jill wrote it. I mean,
right.
they had the Black Lily and everybody was doing poetry. And
right.
Jill, but I think the label.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know the label did that, but I mean, I want to know the conversation. I want to know who called Jill. Did Quest call her? Who called? Did Rich, the manager, who called Jill to say, "Hey, I know you wrote this, and I know you sung on it, but we gonna have to go with Erykah Badu." And then I want to know what North Philly Jill Scott said in return to that conversation. Mm-hmm. You know, then I want to know Eve wasn't in the video. And I know Eve felt some kind of way because she's like, I never got no Grammy for You Got Me. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of little controversy around that song. Yeah, Eve was like, yo, I ain't get no Grammy. I didn't get my statue. So, you know, I'm just, because, you know, Eve's not in the video. So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, Jill gets removed, which we all know that's the industry hoopla, but that I want to know how that conversation went, where it's like, you know, because Jill may be thinking this is my big break. Like, this is it right here. I'm about to be on. And now you call and telling me I'm not about to be. You know what I mean?
She did it on the tour. I saw him on tour when he came down here. And they brought out Jilly from Philly. But when that album dropped, you know, we got Organics. It's like Juvenile Hell. Nobody knows about Organics, the Roots. Mm-hmm. Then we get to
see, to me, I don't even count that shit, because I feel like, yeah, Organics was like the demo that they did to try to get a deal. So in the Roots' mind, that's their first album. I define first albums as your major label. So Juvenile Hell was Mobb Deep's first album because they were on 4th from Brooklyn. Okay. I personally look at it, Do You Want More as the Roots' first album because that's them on Geffen. You know, now I know Quest and them say, no, that's our first album, and they do little numbers and all that stuff, but I've never, you know, because truth be told, Organics ain't good.
That's not.
No, it's just not. Like, I mean, now I remember hearing it at the time, and it was like, oh, that's kind of different. Like, okay, they doing the jazz thing, but when you put that up against any Roots album, it's like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, so I'm actually kind of shocked they actually wear it. And I mean, it's dope because you believed in it, but I look at it like that was y'all demo. You know what I mean?
I bought the album just because I just got into the Roots after when Do You Want More came out. I was like, oh, you didn't hear Organics? I'm like, all right, pass.
Oh no, I got it too. I got it too. Trust, I got it. But yeah.
So, but Things Fall Apart comes out. The intro starts with Bleak talking about the music industry and jazz and like, yo,
And you know how we feel about the blues.
Y'all motherfuckers don't play the shit because y'all, you know, I play the shit that they like. And then it goes on and we first hear Beanie Siegel. And I'm like, how's this dude rhyming like this? You know what I mean? Then you get Eve and it's just, the production was great. And it just, I remember in New Orleans, they played it late night on a hip hop channel, like at 10 at night. And I listened to it. I'm like, oh shit, this shit is really good. And they had some videos. So, and yeah, it's just
if you get a chance, get your hands on this, the box set. Oh, you got it. So you read all the liner notes.
I did not. I have that album, but I didn't read the liner notes. Oh shit! All right.
No, I mean like this is like the box set. Like this is like the 25th anniversary or whatever anniversary it is. So you got got all this stuff. You got more information in it. So you're gonna get even more. Like, you know, I think that's Erica and Thought right there.
Let me go check. I'm gonna go check it. I have it
you just get some dope pictures. You got R.I.P. Malik B. You got, you know, some dope pictures and stuff like that up in here.
And then the last thing about Things Fall Apart, the album covers. There was like 4 or 5 different album covers. So the Baby in Vietnamese, the original one, the church bombing, and a couple more.
The one with the card, the ace.
Yeah, there was like several different covers for this album. So I was just like really pleased with the presentation, the different features. Yeah. Wow. Okay, Kev.
Kia don't play.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's the one.
Those are 5 covers.
Yeah.
I tell people, and people think I don't fuck with the Roots, nigga. I own all these shits, B. Like, dead ass. Like, for what they've done for my city, there's no way I can't support them. I even got Questlove's cookbook. I don't fucking cook. You know what I mean? So before you people be like, kill with the Black Thought slander and kill hate Black Thought, nothing could be further from the truth. I always tell niggas, show me your Roots collection first and then let's talk.
Yeah, great album, man. R&B for my number 3 is Love in Stereo by Rasan Patterson.
Sleeper.
He's originally from New York, but I think he was on the Kids Incorporated. He first came out, I think he helped Tevin Campbell with his style of singing. And it's just a great mixed engineered album, great singer. He's still singing to this day, man. But Love in Stereo is my 3rd R&B.
All right, no doubt. Tone, what you got for your 3rd, John?
I'm going with that Roots, Things Fall Apart. Man, it's just a beautiful hip hop album to me. You know what I'm saying? The production is dope and multi. You know what I'm saying? The MCing on there is great. The features on there is great. The jump off single was great, and the album covers, to your point, it was amazing album covers, man. It set the mood for. I mean, just think that the album is called Things Fall Apart. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just can mean so many things. And then you see the album covers and having that title, Things Fall Apart, it's like, damn, police brutality and war and all this kind of stuff like that. So yeah, man, it's just Siegel got busy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the album, man. So I'm gonna go with that as number 3. Then I'm gonna go with that Mary. You know, coming out the 411 and My Life and Share My World and all that. Mary was just back 1,000, man. Like, and this album was, to me, was no different. Just great songs, and if you love Mary, man, she didn't alienate her fans, man. She was still on the road. She was still rocking, man. So I'm gonna go with that Mary album.
No doubt. Another thing I just peeped with this joint right here, I think this is the first time we're seeing Beijing on wax with Black Thought with his beard kind of filled in there with some Beijing. So we also getting the official first time we seeing Beijing on wax. Eddie, what you got up for your 3rd joint?
I got Dr. Dre's 2001 joint. You know, I think probably, you know, if you want to talk sonically and maybe influence, whatever, probably Anticipation will be up there above all these others. You know, just the production level. You know how Dre does. You know, and this is the reason why we were still waiting for Detox all these years, I think we finally gave up on it. It was just a Chronic in 2001, you know, back to back, that set the stage. But you know what I'm saying? You got Still Dre, Explosive, What's the Difference? Forgot About Dre, all that. Like, crazy album, crazy production, you know, the features and all that. You know, that, and Dr. Dre is just such a perfectionist, right? You know, he met the expectations, you know. That's all I can say about that album.
All right, no doubt. I apologize. The first thing of Beijing on wax was Teddy Riley on the Blackstreet joint right here.
That's
1996. Right. I apologize. That was the first Beijing on wax. And here's the thing: if Rel was on here, he could co-sign this. He got the cut, and it actually says it in this booklet from my man Lightfoot, who was like one of the illest barbers in Philly at the time. Like, everybody went to Lightfoot. Like, Randall County, every drug dealer in the city went to Lightfoot. Everybody went to Lightfoot. So actually, Teddy owns the first Beijing on wax. Vay, what you got for your number 3, bro?
For my number 3, I got Dr. Dre, Chronic 2001. For a lot of the same reasons y'all mentioned.
Yo, I'm shocked y'all didn't have. I thought most people have this as the best album of that year. So I'm just shocked.
It can be.
Well, I'll say this. I don't know if you remember, but I wasn't even trying to listen to it. This is back in the EAA days. You were up there, and I think we were like in the production studio, and y'all were convincing me like, nah, you need to listen to it. And I listened to it, and I was like, yo, this shit crazy or whatever, because I thought too much time had passed since the first Chronic. You know, that was a long time ago. So yeah, I think it's one of the dopest. I mean, Dr. Dre to me has, except for the Aftermath compilation, he hasn't really missed when it comes to his albums. The production quality, I like The Watcher. I like Fuck You with Devin the Dude.
Yeah.
I like Still Dre, Explosive. I really like also the last song, The Message, about his brother who died, who we saw in Straight Outta Compton movie. Because, you know, I never really heard that story, at least coming from Dre himself, and it was a dope way to end the album. But yeah, man, this album was hot. Like you said, the features were dope, beats were dope, the sound quality, as always, was crazy. So yeah, man, Dre, you know, 2001, you know, I had to be coerced into listening to it, but once I did, you know, I was locked in. So,
all right, no doubt. Eddie, you didn't go, right?
I did.
Oh, you did? All right, my bad.
Yeah, I did.
All right, at the number 2. Right, 2001. All right, for the joint, I'm going with Pharoahe with Internal Affairs. I love this album. I think it's 5 mics. I remember one of the dopest things was, you know, and we'll talk about this, like where we were at 99 and everything like that. I had left Strictly Hip Hop for a year because I moved down to Atlanta. So I'm back up there now. And I remember the Rawkus rep calling me like, yo, come through and, you know, grab the new Mos Def and the new Pharoahe, because they came out. Mos dropped October 12th. Monch dropped October 19th. So like Rawkus was on fire that year. And when I got it, I was just like, yo, this shit crazy. I mean, hearing Simon Says, I mean, Vague, like you said, being up at the station when they sent us 12-inch to that, the first time we played that tight in a little mic, it's like, yo, this shit's incredible, man. You know what I mean? Like, the beat, yo, Rub On Your Titties. Like, I know where we're at in 2024, but Rub On Your Titties wasn't, you know, the norm to be talking about in 1999. You know, I don't even know if there was times when people said titty on wax. Like, I know Nas said, you know, don't say the car stop, but say the titties is out. But that's post 2000, right?
Oh, didn't Big say it on Players Anthem?
You're right. What am I talking about? Big was talking about titties. Yeah. I'm sorry, man.
It was a long day.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean? But Monch saying it, and then I guess, like, to be honest with you, I never loved the original Players Anthem. I thought it was cool. Now, the remix that Clark Kent did with the Minnie Riperton remix, loved that. But just the beat for just, it was crazy because it was a club song, but it was hip hop too. Like, there's not too many songs that you could hear, like Vegas said, in the club and then also leave the club and then turn on strictly hip hop and hear the same song again. Like, and for Monch to be able to do that was incredible. You guys named everything. The thing that I think we don't give Monch a lot of credit for is these album covers. Like, to me, he's right there with Redman with coming up with these like crazy album covers. Like, you know, this is like some thought. I'm putting some thought into this, and this one's probably one of my favorites. Like, dog, like, what are you thinking about coming up with these album covers? You know what I mean? So Monch is that for me. The number 2 song, R&B for me, was Eric Benet's A Day in the Life.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? I wasn't a real big fan of the first album. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't even know if I heard it. Like, I don't think the singles caught me enough for me to buy in, but the Georgie Porgy was dope. Yeah. Then to Spend My Life with, to me, it was just, you know, that was like the anthem. And then, you know, Come As You Are, that shit is crazy. You know, Love the Hurt Away. And then the last song on there, Love of My Own, just a real dope album. So definitely That Day in the Life is my number 2 joint. Now, Tron, what you got for your number 2, man?
Number 2, I have, like y'all said earlier, I got Black on Both Sides. I can't say nothing that has already been said. Hip Hop, Love, Miss Fat Booty, Mathematics, the Buster joint, the Talib joint, the what was the one? The Mathematics, the New World Water.
Shoo.
New World Water. Nobody was talking about.
Nobody.
No one was talking about the stuff that they do to the water and how we take water for granted, and it's like it's bottled and you be using Evian just to take a fucking bath. I'm like, wow, okay. So New World Water, really rock and roll. He addressed the how white people stole our music, and you know, he was like, Elvis Presley ain't got no soul. So right, I sat with this album for months, man. So like you said earlier, with Internal Affairs, Rawkus was on fire at this time. And like Big said, like both of y'all said, Mos is a star. You know, he's already an actor. He's everywhere, and just a very solid, dope album. From number 2, R&B, same as you, Kill, Eric Benet, Michelle and Dago Cello. He had Roy Ayers on there. When You Think of Me, playing the xylophone. Tamia, that's like a wedding reception anthem. Like, you hear that every wedding. Spend My Life with You. A very dope artist, and yeah, that's my number 2 R&B.
Yo, the funny thing, you know, Neltron, when you were saying like Mos being the star, why does it seem like all the stars are these artsy motherfuckers, like, who just don't make music? You know what I mean? It's like the 3000s, the D'Angelos, the Maxwells, the Lauryn Hill, like these stars, just because it's like, yo, if Mos would have just made music, like, I feel like Mos would be able to adapt with whatever time he's thrown at, and Mos's discography could be bananas by now. Keep in mind, this is 1999 is his debut. Right. This is 25 years ago. You know, like, if Mos was really in his MC bag, imagine how many albums do y'all think he would have dropped in 25 years? He probably would be up to album number 7 or 8 by now, which could all be classic, but he's such a artist. And again, I never want to put nobody in a box. You know what I mean? Even if he did his different rock and roll and Blackjack Johnson and did different things, but it's just always these dope star artsy motherfuckers who just Sade, like, nigga, where you been? Like, yo, right. Drop an album. Like, yo,
I think that's true magic. I think it's more psychological. They're such an artist that the industry and the business, I think, rubs them the wrong way. And all the stuff we see was going on with the industry with certain moguls, take that. It's just too much. They don't want to be a part of that. I think they just want to just create music and just put out their art. But you have to know the business. And I think some of the people are just rubbed the wrong way, like the Kendricks, the Andre 3000. So,
but the bad part is, like, it's like, why can't the whack and the subpar rappers fucking take that stance? Right. You know what I mean? Like, why can't they be like, I ain't gonna make an album for 5 years? Like, what you gonna say, Tom?
I also think, I did an episode about a year or two ago called The Enigmas, and it was about Mos Def, Lauryn Hill, and other people that you had named, because I think that Eminem as well. And the reason why I said name those people is because when some people are so gifted and talented, as far as hip hop right now, I think it gets boring. You know what I'm saying? Andre started doing other little things because I think just rhyming 16 bars is easy to him. I think Mos Def is such a natural, gifted artist and gifted MC that he could have 20 albums, but he doesn't have that kind of motivation. You know what I'm saying? It's like they put so much into what they do drop. You know what I'm saying? Then they disappear. It's kind of like your Sade's, Michelle DeGacello, someone else. They give you this amazing body of work, and they dip for a while. You know
Prime example, from your crib, Kill, Bill Out, an artist. He'll put out every 5 years, The Love for Sale. Like, he's actually about to drop an album at the end of this month, but he's one of those people like, man, why you could drop all these projects, but you just don't, because you kind of just an artist, and artists are kind of lazy and just want to enjoy life.
And see, the wild part for me is that I personally don't get it, and maybe that's because I haven't been in the industry and I haven't been saying it, but I love making beats. So I just can't see me, even if I get it, like the pressures in the industry. Kill, we need you to make 50 beats in a day. Like, I get all of that, but I would still be making beats. Like, I'm wondering, like, is Sade recording? Like, are these people recording? Even if you don't give it to nobody and you just doing it for yourself, it's almost like somebody who loves playing basketball. I just can't see Steph Curry not picking up a basketball if he's not playing in the NBA. Like, somebody who loves playing football, even if you're not. So even if you don't put the music out, I'm just wondering, like, does Sade have 30 hours, 130 hours of music recorded? Or, because that's what it feels like. It just feels like, okay.
I think they do. I think all these artists we're talking about, these artists, I think they do make me like Q-Tip is one of those guys. I think they're just making music and just sitting with it and not releasing it. You know what I mean?
Right. What are you gonna say, Eddie?
I was gonna say, like, the thing with Mos is, like, you could tell he's still tapped in, right? Like, you see the videos of him quoting MF Doom lyrics.
Yeah.
Or, like, I think he did the same with, like, some Tyler stuff. Like, he's still tapped in, right? I think he still loves hip hop. I just don't know where his motivation lies. I'll be honest, like, after that Ecstatic album, the last solo album he dropped, like, I was ready for another one. I was like, all right, if this is his bag, I could take another one of these.
Hey, Eddie, did you see him spit Black Thought's 215 that song he did with Life?
Yeah.
Mos Def spit the whole damn verse in front of Black Thought. Black Thought was sitting there like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Yep. I mean, he's rapid firing his verse. So to your point, when you're a hip hop head like Mos Def, he's still tapped in, and he might have a bunch of unreleased stuff too. But you gotta remember, at one point, Mos Def was out there in Hollywood doing 16 blocks of Bruce Willis. He was doing Something the Lord Made or something like that. I mean, leading actor in a big time movie. You know what I'm saying? I remember I was in LA one time way back then, and I know you remember this, Eddie. They had a big billboard downtown LA, Mos Def, with the doctor suit on and shit like that for that movie. So he's a real actor as well. He's done some Broadway, so he's tapped into a bunch of stuff. And most a little weird, artsy. He'll disappear on you for a minute, end up in Portugal somewhere.
I think I think he also, like, you remember the thing he did where I think he went through some kind of torture.
Yeah, he was trying to do the stuff that they were doing to prisoners. So he did the thing with getting fed up the nose or something like that.
Right. So he's,
and I mean, I get it. I'm just always wondering, like, how, I mean, and again, I never want to be in nobody's pockets. Never. But I always do wonder, nigga, how do y'all pay bills? Like Pharoahe Monch is not Sade. Like, you know what I mean? Sade could go on a world tour tomorrow and probably make, literally no lie, fucking $100 million. You know what I mean? If she's charging $800 for tickets, nigga, I'm going. So that's just what it is, and you could do that around the world. Pharoahe can't do that around the world.
Yeah, Sade got paid.
Yeah. So I've always just wondered, just from a living perspective, or even from when Maxwell was doing that series, the Black Summer Nights, and we got Black, which was 5 mics, and then Summer, which was like going down, and then we just never got Nights. Now I heard he just did an Al Green joint for So Beautiful, and I'm like, okay, is this coming out? Is this off the album? But it's like that summer joint, the summer joint may have been 4 or 5 years ago. You know what I mean? So I'm just always wondering, like I said,
he's torn.
Yeah,
right
I mean,
now.
yeah, I'm about to go see Maxwell in 2 weeks, but it's like the music, like, and again, just me being an artist, I love releasing music. Like, that's the thing about it. Like, I love hearing people talk about me and Vague's new album or me and Rel's new album. Like, I love that interaction. I know a lot of people like it on the stage, but it's like giving that music out. So I don't know. What are you gonna say, Vague?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I agree with y'all. I think the type of artists they are, they're kind of like perfectionists.
Yeah.
So they probably think nothing they write is great, and they probably write all the time, but they'll never record it, or they're just hoarding records. As far as writing, I could see somebody like Sade writing for however long she was out, and then when it's album time going in, I think one of the ways, or a couple of ways they could make money, speaking to the rappers only, obviously doing shows, but some of them are ghostwriters also, and those royalty checks are very different. Not they write their own shit, but you know, they're seeing royalty checks here and there, not all the time, along with shows, along with whatever else they get paid, like, you know, to be a guest appearance, pop up at a show. Like the Mos Def joint I saw, it wasn't a concert for him, it was like a rap and poetry kind of thing, and excuse me, he took Rakim's place, but it was like a last minute thing. And I think he took it because it was more money than ironically, it was more money than a show that he was doing down there in DC, because he didn't show up to that because my wife was supposed to go to that, and I was at this joint. But I think they probably live modest lives also. So that little bit of a check or that royalty check or whatever might stretch really far for them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because shit, Pharoahe will be posting like toys and shit on my bad, action figures. He be posting them, and I just be like, this nigga I love it because he's buying what he wants, right? He ain't gonna buy no chain and no car and shit. He's like, yo, look at this Wolverine, like, so niggas don't spend a lot of money, so.
Yeah,
true. Eddie, what you got up for your number 2? Oh, Tone, did you go? I'm sorry, the most right. I left with Neutron. Tone, what you got for your number 2? Or you already did yours?
I got the Chronic 2001.
Okay.
And, it could be 1 or 2 to me because I just think it's an amazing body of work. When I heard Steel Dress, and okay, I'm expecting something big when I get this album. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't mad at all, man. I thought the sequence of the songs was dope. I like the way it started. I like the way it ended. Of course, the message is a beautiful ending to an album. You know, I recently tweeted about the importance of the last song on the album to leave that last impression or whatever. And Drake did that, heartfelt. I like this song called Bang Bang on there also, man. Like, it goes very hard, man. Just my only regret on Crime 2001 is I wish MC Ren would have put a verse on that joint he was talking on the beginning of that song. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ren would have destroyed that beat. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's, sonically, like we know, Dr. Dre, the best engineering you're gonna hear on albums come from Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you go throw in the first Chronic right now from 1992, the shit sound louder and clearer than shit that's out right now. It's just the way it's made. And 2001 was the same way. It's probably one of the clearest production engineering I've ever heard on a rap album or album in general. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, 2001 was great to me.
I think the thing that shocked me the most about the Chronic was watching that HBO series with Dre and Jimmy saying that they had already mixed it before he even got it to Interscope. Like, you know, I'm thinking, okay, you got an Interscope Studios, and then like, nah, like it was already mixed. That, like, that's saying something, you know. Yeah. And again, if you know, and I don't know if he took it to a real studio, but I mean, just from looking at Straight Outta Compton, if that's true, and he's just making beats in this big mansion, like, just the fact that Dre can mix. This dude never went to no engineering school, from what I know. By the time the Chronic had come out, so just being able to have that ear, you know what I mean, is amazing to be able to mix the Chronic before you even turned it in to the label or even got a label deal for it. Like that's incredible right there.
And you know what? The Chronic 2001 had big singles. You talking about Next Episode? You talking about Still Dre, Explosion? You know, Explosion, whatever. We talking about what's that? The drum Eminem on it.
What's the difference?
Forgot about Dre. I mean, monster songs on that album, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like even had
we still got rap videos at the time. We still got, you know, 106 and Park and Rap City, and MTV is still playing videos, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, he had all kind of dope features on there, man. King T and everybody was on there, man. I mean, that joint's crazy. I mean, yeah. And then R&B is that day in the life, Eric Benet, like you guys already talked about, man. I love Eric Benet, man, and that album was dope. And tell you a funny thing, real quick here, his first album with that femininity on it, man. You remember that single, man?
I do remember that.
That was a great song, but I think that second album is probably better than it was more polished than the first one.
Right. Eddie, what you got for number 2, bro?
I got Black on Both Sides, Mos Def.
All right.
And to me, incredible album. I think low key, it's kind of a concept album if you think about it, right? Think of the title, Black on Both Sides, and you think of a lot of the songs and the concept of the songs, right? Like, you know, Miss Fat Booty, basically a love letter to a black woman, like hip hop obviously, you know, black art form, you know what I'm saying? You got joints like Rock and Roll, where, you know, he's talking about you know, the true origins of rock and roll and how that was, you know, how that played out, right? You know, you go down the line, and it's a lot of on topic, you know what I'm saying? You know, obviously you got joints like, you know, I hate to like be picking on Busta Rhymes, man, but the joint with Busta just kind of didn't really fit. You know what I think it is with Busta? It's just the energy. Like I feel like that joint would have fit better on a Busta Rhymes album. It's like you listen to this album and like it's a vibe. You listening to it, then Busta comes out and he's yelling at you, and you're like, oh shit, let me turn that down. Like it didn't really age that well for me, you know. But yeah, man. You got, you know, Miss Fat Booty Umi Says, and then even, you know, Climb, like he was singing on that joint too.
Yeah,
you know, that was a dope joint. Like got one of my favorite joints. That shit down. Yo, he's spitting game, man. Like, you know, I wish more younger up and coming MCs would have listened to him. Like, just play that song.
Yeah, gotta see
that song.
Yeah,
you know.
All right, no doubt.
Veg, just ain't sensible.
Veg, what you got for your number 2, bro?
Number 2, I got The Roots, Things Fall Apart. I really like this album because coming off of Philadelphia, which was like just straight up like a hip hop album, like a boom bap album. This album was that, but had more of a mature sound. Obviously had a loose concept, and I think like Neltron mentioned Beanie Siegel and Adrenaline, man. Like I don't even hear all the verses, because when I heard this shit, I was like, yo, I had to keep rewinding it, like literally, like keep rewinding it. I was like, yo, he killed this shit. And this was around a time where he was starting to build some steam with the freestyles and the loose records here and there, Rockefeller. But yeah, man, such a dope album. I love the single with Erica, with Jill. It really mattered to me. And I only bought one cover, Kill. Just one of them.
I was, whenever I'm digging or something, like I've been digging since 90. You know what I mean? So a lot of times I'll get bored and digging. So it was kind of like, that was one of those times where I was like, you know, let me see if I could find every one of these album covers, because they were hard to fucking find. Like I didn't find them all in that year. That 5 came over years of digging and pawn shops and different, living in Atlanta, you know what I mean? Like going to different places, because you couldn't just sit in Baltimore and just walk away with all 5 of those album covers. Like, you know, so, and like, yeah, so it definitely was a challenge finding it. And I mean, that segues right into my number one, which is Things Fall Apart. To me, for me, the Roots kind of follow what Tribe did for their first 3 hours for me. So People's Instinctives, I didn't love it. I thought it was a good album. Bonita, Can I Kick It? Of course, love those songs. Same thing with Do You Want More? Didn't really love the album, love Silent Treatment, love Proceed, but it was like, it's cool, Second album, Low End, I become a fan. Same thing with Philadelphia. Second album, I become a fan. I love it. And I'm like, how the hell are they going to top Philadelphia? The same way how is Tribe going to top Low End? Of course, they come out with Midnight. You have the infamous back and forth, which one is better, Low End or Midnight. Same thing with the Roots for me. They come with Things Fall Apart. You could go back and forth all day. Which one is better? Philadelphia, Things Fall Apart. Just an incredible album. I mean, You Got Me. I remember, we used to play that strictly hip hop, which is not in any type of tempo match of whatsoever for anything else being played as strictly hip hop. And I remember we were on the phone with this shorty Tova, who used to intern up there, like, yo, what is Jill even saying? I don't even know what this shit is talking about. Like, before it was getting played everywhere, but like when we first got the 12-inch before it blew up, it was like, yo, what is this shorty saying? But I mean, everything about that joint. I mean, The Next Movement was crazy. Malik B's follow-up. And again, I kind of felt like, even with the Tribe analogy, it was kind of like, yo, why is Phife in the group from People's Instinctives? And for me, I'm like, why is the boy Malik in the group? I can make a nerd say he's superb. Like, yo, this dude corny. But then I hear No Great Pretender, and I'm like, ooh. Same way when you hear Butter, you like, ooh, okay, that's why I Phife in the group. And then, they both came back with their next solo joint. So even the spark on here, I love the way he sets it off. I walk around a little edgy already. Like, that just set that thing off. I mean, Dynamite was crazy. Ain't Saying Nothing New was crazy, because that's one of my favorite Just Ice joints from Mosh It Up. Like, Nothing New when KRS was doing that. Double Trouble with Mos, 100% Dundee. Like, yo, like, you talk about, people act like Malik leaving the group didn't hurt. Like, that shit, like, that to me was the downfall. Like, why I stopped really being a Roots fan like that. Malik added so much to it. And if you listen to 100% Dundee, him and Thought are going back and forth, like toe to toe with each other. And then of course, Adrenaline, Don't See Us, incredible album. And then my number one album for me for that year for R&B was the Mary joint. Like, All That I Could Say, I thought was crazy. The Deep Inside joint with the Elton John sample. The I'm in Love, which a lot of people don't know is a Gap Band remake. It's crazy. Your Child, that shit was crazy. And The Love I Never Had, like, that's my shit. Like, and I always wanted, because The Love I Never Had is Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, but then Prince's I Hate You, they had the same beat. You know what I mean? So if y'all never peeped that, go peep that. Go listen to Prince's I Hate You and then Mary's The Love I Never Had. They both kind of the same. And I'm like, all right, well, again, I want to know the story. Who jacked who? Jimmy Jam, did y'all still have beef with Prince? Prince, who did what first? Because I'm like, now these ain't even samples. These are niggas playing songs. So somebody had to bite somebody's shit. Kind of like with Brian McKnight's joint and Michelle and D'Angelo joint.
That's right.
Like, they both kind of followed the same lane of each other. So those are my number ones. Neltron, what's your number one joint, bro?
I don't have no more R&B, so my last hip hop is my man Zev Love X rebrands itself, comes out with Operation Doomsday. From the sampling of the Spider-Man episodes, the comic book references, the album cover, the way he rebranded himself is, I don't know if we ever saw anything like that in hip hop besides another person I got and slept on. But yeah, shout out to MF Doom for dropping that album, man. He sampled Sade, he sampled Steely Dan, he sampled the Scooby-Doo, he sampled the Dill. You know what I mean? He sampled Rakim, SOS, The Finest. Like, his ear for music was right. All the good stuff I grew up on, and as a kid, like, he sampled it, the cartoon. So yeah, I know his rhyming and his mixing and mastering it's an unorthodox. It's not the most popular album of that year, but that, to me, it's in my top 5. So.
The funny thing about the album, I'm late to the MF Doom party. Here's the funny thing. Who put me on the MF Doom? Nay.
Right.
Nay loves that album. You know what I mean? And it's like, hearing her play it, I'm like, yo, what's that? She's like, it's Doom. You know what I mean? So I don't know if at that point in time, I'm bougie with my hip hop sometimes, and I'll be in my like, you know, greater than thou phases. Like, what's this weird shit? I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? And then my ears kind of open up and I hear things different. I think that's just what it was at that time. Like, if I hear, like now when I hear it, I'm like, yo, this dude sampled Sade. Yo, at that time, that was just a no-no in like production, you know, in the production realm. You just don't sample shit people know already. So I think that was one of the things that kind of threw me off, being bougie and my producer bag. Like, you just don't do that type thing. And again, just following these stringent rules, which was dope because MF Doom didn't follow the rules. You know what I mean? And he ended up making this incredible classic album. You know what I mean? So I think that's another thing that's so incredible about Doom and that I see now, you know. So I definitely, if I had my ears open the way they were now, I'm sure that album would have made my top 5 also. So I definitely feel you on that. So what's your number 1 joint, bro?
Look, we talked about this dude several times tonight. I'm going with Mos Def, Black on Both Sides. Look, when I think of like legendary performances, Mos Def for me was flawless on that album. He gave you every type of flow, every type of subject matter. My God, man, like it's for me, it's an amazing hip hop album. I mean, I was totally satisfied. He started off with the track Hip Hop, man, and he said, people ask me about what's going on with hip hop. He said, what's going on with us? You know what I'm saying? Like, right. As simple as that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's for me, it's perfect. I love Got a lot. I play Got right now, probably once a month on my playlist. I stop at Got and I listen to it. I'm like, a lot of young boys' lives could have been saved if they listen to that damn song to me. You know what I'm saying? But then Brooklyn, my habitat, the place where it happened at. You know what I'm saying? Like, his flow on Brooklyn was just, anytime you do shit over some Biggie shit, you know what I'm saying, and rep like that, man. But just a case study on MCing, man. You know what I'm saying? The way Nas did Illmatic, the way Big and Ready to Die, the way some of the great MCs did, you know, Rock Him on Follow the Leader. To me, pun on Capital Punishment. That's what this album is to me. This is MCing. This is MCing one-on-one. You want to learn how to rap? Throw Black on Both Sides on the way you would throw any of the amazing albums that came out in the history of the culture. That's how high regard I hold that album. R&B, I'm going with Bitter by Michelle DeGarcello. Bitter is an amazing album. She got that Beautiful on there. This joint I love called Satisfied. Man, just, you made a fool of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, Michelle, man, is one of one. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's an enigma. You know what I'm saying? Nobody like her now. You know what I'm saying? I used to call her the female version of Prince to a degree. You know what I'm saying? The way how artsy she is, you know. And I'm gonna tell you, man, she had this joint on How I Learned the soundtrack called Soul Searching. Woo! Songs I've ever heard in my life. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Michelle, man. Bitter is a great album, man. Deep as hell too.
Tone, Soul Searching is a baby making song.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What's the joint she had on the Love and Basketball soundtrack?
Fool of Me.
That Fool of Me.
Made a fool of me. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like that.
Dope. Eddie, what you got for your number 1, bro?
Yo, I got the Roots, Things Fall Apart. Anyone who knows me knows this is not only my favorite Roots album, but it's one of my favorite hip hop albums of all time. It's probably the album that I bought the most because I used to play the hell out of it. So, you know, I think one time it got stuck in my CD joint and pulled it out and it fucked up my CD. So I had to get another one. Then someone, you know, I lost it. Someone borrowed it. I kept buying it over and over and over again, you know, and now I also got it on vinyl as well as CD. But man, just, you know, everything y'all said, great follow up to Illadelph Half Life. I mean, just the way it starts with that skit, then the table of contents. I was like 2 separate beats, you know, you got Thought, then you got Malik. Obviously, you know, Next Movement was crazy. Step Into the Realm. How the beat starts fading out like crazy. You know what I'm saying? 100% Dundee, crazy. Adrenaline. Beanie Siegel just went crazy. And the crazy thing about that is the story is he had more. they had to get him to like condense it. Like he had more bars. Like I guess he was in the studio just going on and on with that whole rhyme scheme, and they were like, yeah, you know, we want that, but you gotta, you know, we're not gonna have a 10-minute joint. You know what I'm saying? You know, Dynamite, that Dilla beat was crazy. Act 2, Love of My Life with Common. You know what I'm saying? As basically like a part 2 to I Used to Love Her, Double Trouble, Mos Def. I mean, I go on and on, man. But like I said, one of my favorite all-time hip-hop albums.
Dope. And Vague, what you got for your number one?
Number one, I have Mobb Deep, Murder Music. Played this album to death. Thought it was a good follow-up to Hell on Earth. Havoc's production, like Eddie mentioned, you know, it's not the same on either of the albums, and I really like what he did here, because even though the sonically it was probably a little brighter, it still had dark tones and stuff like Quiet Storm, records like that, and a couple other records. Standout joints for me: What's Your Poison, Illustrious, Adrenaline, Where You From, the original Quiet Storm, Murder Music, The Realest. I really loved It's Mine with Nas for the Scarface sample. It just was perfect. They used to play that in the club. There's straight thugs on this side. I'm like, man, you can't really dance this. This is a fight, nigga. Like that's all we could do. But yeah, I love this album, man. It was the beginning of the end. We never got another Mobb Deep album even close. Well, man, let me take it back. The G-Unit joint was alright. But
yeah, G-Unit joint was good.
Yeah, we never got Prodigy like this again. That's what.
Well, H&IC for me was real dope though.
It was.
I think it was dope. I think it's not like Prodigy. It was dope, but there was a time when Prodigy was untouchable, man. Like I think I always said Jay-Z, Nick Anderson, that nigga. Nick Anderson was never the same after them missed free throws, and I feel like he was never the same after that Summer Jam screen. Like he didn't become Nick Anderson. Nick Anderson literally disappeared. I mean, he was still.
H&IC before that though, right? H&IC before Summer Jam, ain't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. After that, I just felt like he was never
poking fun at himself.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean, the Albert Einstein joint was dope. I mean, he was rhyming different, but it was still dope. The Albert Einstein joint.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it was.
And keep in mind, I'm not saying it wasn't dope, but it's just like I felt like Prodigy. I mean, we've had these conversations. 96 Prodigy or 96 Nas. Like, and even though I picked 96 Nas, I'm not mad at anybody who picks 96 Prodigy. So it's almost like who's better, LeBron or Steph? And now it's like it's good, but good isn't who's better, LeBron or Steph. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying Prodigy got whacked. By no means am I saying that. It's just it wasn't no more conversations. Is he the best MC walking the planet Earth right now after Summer Jam? You know what I mean? So that's all. I'm no way saying that P fell off, but he just wasn't as good anymore. All right, slept on albums. I got 3 slept on albums. I got Sound Pieces, The Antidote right here, Loop Pack. I can't tell you how many times my man DJ Titan played When I Be on the Mic. I think, babe, you talking about mathematics. This shit right here may have been the anthem on Strictly Hip Hop. When I Be on the Mic. Oh my God, we play this all the time. So I love this album right here. Neltron said it, Sound Bombing too. Man, you talk about any man, that Eminem over the Beat Miners, that's the Eminem I was. You know what I mean? That was it right there. It was like, yo, this is the Eminem I want. And I wish, we didn't have to go through these compilations to get joints like that. You know what I mean? We already talked about it. Every universe with Most of 199, who, like I said, could be my favorite song of that whole year. Hip hop owes us a common album produced by High Tech, circa 99, 2000. Like, I felt like those two couldn't miss. Techzilla, the joint that's on High Technology, this 199. I felt like that was the perfect opportunity for them two to make an album. And the last one, and me and Buckshot and 5 Foot, and Evil Deal the only three people who love Warzone. I like the Warzone. Was it Into the Stage? Fuck no. Nowhere near it. Too much time had passed. Like Vague said with the crime. Way too much time had passed. When I heard the single, 2 turntables and a mic, I was like, this shit is horrible. But the rest of the album, y'all, I ain't gonna hold you. There's some bangers on this album. You know what I mean? It's some bangers. And again, I get it. It was not, I was such a Black Moon fan. I was just fiending for it. But I think it's slept on. Neltron, you got any slept on albums from this year?
Rest in peace to Gift the Gab.
Black
Alicious. The first album, Nia. It's just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's I know they based out of Cali, but I think the first single I heard from Black Alicious was A to G. And Gift the Gab rhymed all the words starting with A, and then he did all B words, then he did C, but the whole album as a whole, I recently revisited, I want to say earlier this year, and I'm like, this is a really good album. Rest in peace to Gift the Gab. My second one is Prince Among Thieves, Prince Paul. Concept album. You got rappers acting, and it just was the artwork on it, just the whole concept of it being a story from beginning to end. Thought that was dope. And my last one is the member of Ultra Mad, Kool Keith, comes out with Black Elvis. I know it's weird as hell, and he's weird. I mean, he has over 40 albums out to this day, but Black Elvis.
I apologize. You said Kool Keith has 40 albums?
Over 40.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I have not heard one. That's amazing.
Yeah, me and Nick are fans of the Kool Keith after Ultra Mag, and it stops after like maybe 5, and then he just puts out whatever.
Now, do you feel like it's MF Doom? Like, I feel like Doom is like a cult following. Like Doom and Sean P were able to make these cult followings for themselves, moving on from their group. And I feel like Kool Keith did that in a way. But do you feel like he has a cult following similar to MF Doom?
I might see one person on Twitter might see, oh, what's the best album? And somebody will say Kool Keith, and I'll just like, oh yeah, and I'll go crazy because I'm like, that's the one in the 100,000 members on Twitter.
So it's not like how if you say, like, I say something about MF Doom and I don't spell his name in all caps, I get 8 million people saying spell his name in all caps. So he's not there. Okay.
No, I think Doom is up here, and then there's Kool Keith and maybe Dell the Funky Home Safe. But yeah, Black Elvis those are my 3 stepped on albums.
All right. And I forgot my R&B. Personal Conversation by Case. You know, that was my joint with Happily Ever After. Another classic joint. I think Faded Pictures with Joe. I know it was on the Rush Hour soundtrack, but that was on there. And then the other joint, I want to say something else was on there. I got Back at One by Brian McKnight, and I got Life's an Aquarium, Mint Condition. Those are my 3 R&B slept on albums right there. Tone, what slept on albums and shit? You got another one?
3 slept on R&Bs. Y'all wouldn't believe it, but Freddie from Different World came out with
Free Summer. Yeah, produced by Lenny Kravitz.
Yes, that's right. So that's one I didn't know. I was like, dude was like, yo, Free Summer got an album. I was like, yeah, whatever, nigga. So, and I heard it, and I was like, all right, it's not bad. It's actually decent. My second slept on R&B is Traveling Without Moving, Jamiroquai. It's the last dope album before they lost some of their members. You got Virtual Insanity on there, Cosmic Girl. It's a real dope album, just to drive to, clean to, just chill. And my last one is The Vault, Old Friends for Sale by Prince. It was not marketed. It just came out. It's him on the cover, sitting on a chair backwards. Very musical, dope album. I think it's maybe 7 tracks on that. But yeah, that was very slept on. Yeah, I slept on it. So.
All right, so what about you?
So initially, I had the Prince Paul and the MF Doom and Soundbound. We talked about those, but let me give you like 2 or 3 more real quick. A-Ball MJG had the joint In Our Lifetime Volume 1. You know what I'm saying? That joint was cold, bro. You know what I'm saying? On real, A-Ball MJG, the lyrical cats, man, dope production.
Yes.
Man, one of the most slept on rap groups you're gonna see, man, if you go back and dig into their discography, man. Them dudes are dope. You know what I'm saying?
Swap House produced that album? The Swap House? Were they still on Swab House?
I'm not sure if they were still on Swab House or not. It's a good question. Let me look into that. Y'all can fact check me. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. Slick Rick, man, art of storytelling, man. Like, he had some joints on there, man. After, Slick Rick, one of them dudes where that jail time hurt him. You know what I'm saying? It's like Muhammad Ali when he didn't go to the Vietnam joint and he got suspended and he had to come back and struggle for a minute. We didn't get the best of Slick Rick because he was away from the game for a while. But when he came back with the art of storytelling, man, that joint for me was really, really dope. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna go with, man, one more sleeper. Well, I don't know if it's a sleeper or not, but I like Guerrilla Warfare with the Hot Boys, man. I had some heat on them. Man, the Fresh was in the zone too.
Yeah.
Yo, it's funny. Somebody was Slack asked what was cool. Lil' Kim's dopest album, and I replied, she got another album outside of hardcore, and people were chiming in. Somebody was like, yeah, the Source gave the Naked Truth 5 mics, and I was like, well, yeah, but that's after the Source fell off or whatever like that. So somebody was saying how the Source did a disservice to a lot of Southern and West Coast hip hop by letting New York niggas and East Coast niggas review it. And I was like, you know what, fam, hindsight, for what it is, I agree with you. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to, and I always tell this to people when they be like, kill you and your East Coast bias, all that bullshit. East Coast bias to me is, yo, Tone, if you call and said, yo, Kill, I got this rap from Compton, will you listen to it? And I'm like, nah, I don't fuck with West Coast music. That would be an East Coast bias.
Yeah.
If you send it to me and I listen and I don't like it, nigga, that ain't East Coast bias. I don't like this shit. There's a lot of niggas from the East Coast I don't fucking like. Yeah. But I say that to say that a lot of times I feel like you have to sometimes be there in that space to really understand it. I'm sure if I was in Houston with that chopped and screwed shit and I drank lean all day, I'd probably fuck with it a lot more than what I do with it now. It's the same thing with DC and Go-Go. Most people who aren't from DC aren't gonna fuck with Go-Go like that. So it is unfair to have East Coast niggas reviewing niggas from Oakland. Like, once that started moving like that, I felt like the Source should have went out and got writers from those areas. You know what I mean? To review some of that music. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think like that was okay? Because I think they were saying like Project Pat. He was like, yo, this Project Pat album's a classic. And the Source gave it 2.5 mics. Right. And it's on some shit like y'all didn't understand what was going on down here. And it's like, you're 100% right. A nigga from Queens can't understand what the fuck is going on down in Jackson, Mississippi, or wherever these niggas is from. You know what I mean?
And what Big Boy said on equipment, I got to hit the Source and need my other half of Mike, because that song player listen kind of music was a classic, right? So it's like, if you have people, region is an energy too. If I grow up somewhere, that vibe and that slang and the production, everything is a way of life. So absolutely, it's a disservice to a degree. You know what I'm saying? But I think they did a decent job at their heyday, because at the same time they should have gave the Chronic 5 mics out the gate. So I think they gave Dog Style like fucking 4 mics. But nevertheless, they had some misses on East. They gave Red to Die 4.5, should have been 5. So they messed up on both sides some too. But you do need writers from different regions, to me, to cover the whole nation.
Right. And I mean, it's hindsight. You know what I mean? Because at the time, I'm sure the Source is like, okay, y'all got an album here, go review it. But it's the same thing. I'm not going to do a show about New Orleans and not have Neltron and other people from New Orleans, Knicks, you know what I mean, and everybody on here who's from New Orleans to represent that. I think it would be a disservice if it was me, Vegas, Eddie, and Tone on here talking about New Orleans hip hop, and we ain't got nobody from New Orleans to talk about it. You know what I mean? And yo, Neltron, I forgot about this, bro. I forgot this was 99. Amazing album. Yo, if people have not heard this album, please listen to this album. And Neltron, I forgot about Every Day, Spend a Lifetime, Cosmic Girl, All Right. Like, this, please.
They played Cosmic Girl on Love Jones.
Yeah, I beseech you. Y'all niggas know, if I get biblical, I beseech y'all to listen to this album. It's a dope album. Eddie, what you got for slept on joints?
Yo, first joint, I got this Handsome Boy Modeling School joint. So how's
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Dan
Prince Paul and Dan the Automator.
Yes.
Like, it's just so left of center. Like, you look at the album cover, you like, yo, what the fuck? What is
Weird
this? You know what I'm saying? Weird as hell, but, you know, definitely, you know, the production was dope, you know, with Prince Paul and Dan the Automator, like, left to center, but it had some dope features, you know. There was a Funky Homo Sapien was on there, Puba and Sadat X was on another joint, got J Live on the joint, you know, so it was a very dope album. I remember, I forgot who put me onto it, but I'm very, very surprised. But, you know, I think all the reasons I mentioned, like, it just gone under the radar. It's an album that you look at and you be like, nah, that's probably not for me, but it's actually pretty dope.
You know, the funny thing, Eddie, is people think I'm only an album cover snob with like Stove Cooks. I've always been an album cover snob. I've never listened to the album because I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, and I've never listened to the album. It could be the greatest album ever, but the cover just, and I'm like the Handsome Boy Modeling Club. That didn't sit right with my spirit in 1999. I didn't know what I'm about to press play on, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pass on that title. So between the title and the cover, I was good. But it's dope to hear that it was a dope album. So Paul put out 2 albums that year. He did the Prince Among Thieves and the Handsome Boy. Now, was the Handsome Boy Modeling Club like another persona, or was this like an official Prince Paul release? Because Prince Paul is another weirdo nigga.
No, it's another persona.
Oh, okay, it was a whole other persona. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
The next one I got, Kill already mentioned it, the Loop Pack, Sound Pieces, The Antidote. This is an album that just kind of, it escaped me when it came out, like, you know, but it, going back to it, especially me now, like being on the West Coast, and I've been on the West Coast, like, I think, you know, I heard it being on the West Coast, and it's just, it clicked, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Madlib, Quasimodo, you know, got Wild Child on there, like all the features, you know what I'm saying? Like, definitely, the stuff that I was being exposed to out here, I was just like, yeah, that's, you know, I definitely understood it after some years, you know what I'm saying? And then my third slept on joint, I got GZA's Beneath the Surface. Very dope album, man, but, you know, it wasn't Liquid Swords, you know? And number 1, number 2, it only had one RZA produced track. I think 1112 was the name of the joint. I think most of the production was done by Mathematics and Arabian Night. I don't know who Arabian Night was. And actually, Inspector Deck did the title track, which was actually one of my favorite joints on there too. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, you know, he was still sharp with the concepts, you know what I'm saying, and rhymes, although he wasn't really doing all the street tales that he was doing on Liquid Swords. Like, he was more conceptual with the scientific shit. It was dope. A very dope album.
All right, no doubt. Vay, what you got up for slept on albums?
Dope album cover too with Beneath the Surface.
Yeah.
I got Eminem Slim Shady LP. I think when, you know, people think about Marshall Mathers LP and the Eminem show because they were the bigger records, but the Slim Shady LP has more of the M rapping on it, and it's less of the craziness. Like, he got the one song about his wife, but there's less of that on here than it is on the albums that were the more successful albums that everybody bring up. And first time you hear Royce, I think that's the first time you hear Royce on the track. They got a song together. That's dope. Also,
Meg, hold on for 1 second. So, and I'm actually shocked because everybody knows I'm not a big M fan, but I totally forgot about that. So that didn't make anybody's top 5?
Slim Shady LP?
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I have it on Slept On.
Right. I mean, no, I was just shocked. I was shocked that it didn't make anybody's top 5. I mean, since I'm not an M fan, it's like, of course it didn't make my top 5, but I know everybody up here, I think y'all are M fans. Well, more than I am.
He was rapping his ass off, though.
Okay, but it just wasn't cohesive enough to crack the top 5 of that year.
I don't think so. Yeah, not.
I think
not
I think once he hit Marshall Mathers LP, that felt more like the album that connected with me. You know what I'm saying? Like Slim Shady LP was a little bit more cartoony and a little bit too much of the shock value stuff. He still has shock value on Marshall Mathers, but it felt more focused.
Okay. All right. My bad, babe. What else you got?
Nas's I Am. I think it gets clumped in with Nostradamus, but it wasn't that bad of an album. There's a couple of joints on there that we don't like, but there were plenty. It's like New York State of Mind 2 is crazy. We always talk about Undying Love. There's a lot that was supposed to be on the I Am Nostradamus album that's on this one. Probably more than the two that's on, the one, because I think Project Window is the only one that's on Nostradamus. But yeah, like when you go back and listen, sure, Dr. Nakbu is trash, but that's one record. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that don't make the rest of the album. He had a lot of joints on here. And
Scarface.
Yeah, joint Scarface.
Hell yeah.
The other slept on joint I have, Tupac and Outlaws, Still I Rise. Now, I didn't hear this joint back then. Somebody put me on to it a couple years ago because I was like, yo, what Outlaws album is dope? Because I was kind of in my Tupac bag, and I got the albums I like. This album is extremely slept on. It's really dope, and sometimes I don't like if I'm a Tupac fan, if I'm not feeling your crew, I don't really want to hear your group album because I'm just going to anticipate your joint. But I think they did an excellent job of working together as a group, as the Outlaws, with Tupac as a part of the group, as opposed to when Tupac on rhyme kind of thing. With the concepts, with the beats, had a lot of really dope songs. It was released obviously after he passed in 99, but again, back then I wasn't really checking for it, and I didn't know what was on it. I didn't know what to expect. Going back and listening to it, I was like, damn, not enough people talk about this. And there's a lot of Tupac on there. It's not like
he's a lot of
songs. Like, it's like a group album.
And these were done, but while he was still alive. Like, these weren't like old verses and they fit him in. That he recorded these in real time with them. Okay.
I think some of them were recorded, if not all of them, maybe before Death Row, if not during. But actually, I think it was before the Death Row albums. But yeah, I think it's a slept-on album. So,
all right, no doubt. Now, here's the thing, y'all. Who was the MC, the dopest MC of '99 for you? For me, this was a rough year. Like, I'm looking at some things, and normally when we do these shows, I'm like this person. Like, it's not even really a question about it. I'm like, Nas dropped 2 albums, but I wasn't really in love with both of them. I wasn't in love with Jay's album. M was out there. So I'm gonna have to give it to Mos Def, man. I again, it wasn't, because I'm defining best MC for people watching. I'm not talking because somebody said something about LL's album today, and he's like, well, Kill, he must be winning because song with Sweetie is number 8 on urban radio. And I'm like, yeah, sorry, nigga, I don't go to urban radio to dictate if something is winning or not. So I'm not talking about who sold the most records or who did this or who that. I'm talking about who was the dopest MC on the mic that year. And I'm gonna go with Mos Def, with Black on Both Sides. Slept on, I'm gonna keep it in the Rawkus family with Monch, because I felt like enough people I know a lot of people who heard Simon Says, but have never heard the entire album. You know what I mean? If you run into the average hip hop head, and I mean head, like a head, not somebody who just listens, they probably can't name you 2 other songs off Internal Affairs, but Simon Says and Simon Says remix. So a lot of people haven't even heard that album. So I'm going with the Rawkus brothers, with Mos for MC of the Year and Monch with the most slept on. Neltron, who you going with?
I mean, MCing, like Tone said, you wanna take a class on MCing. It's Black on Both Sides, Mos Def. The dude was all over the different styles, and slept on Pharoahe. I got the same as you, man.
All right, Tone, what you got?
You already know. I'm going with the mighty Mos Def, baby. You know what I'm saying? For all the reasons we talked about and slept on. I'm gonna go with Jizzle, man, because it's 99. Wu-Tang Forever 2 years before that. The Liquid Swords several years before that. And I think a lot of people didn't dial in to Beneath the Surface because Jizzle wasn't all over it. But man, I'm gonna tell you, I thought the production was dope. I thought he still was sharp on the rhymes and everything like that. Man, I think he was overall slept on that year, but he was still doing his thing.
Eddie, you're shaking your head. So who are yours? Yeah. The same?
Yeah, my I'm going with Mos Def, not only because of Black on Both Sides, but then he had like the Rawkus sound bombing stuff and all that. I think there might have even been a Lyricist Lounge album came out the same year, if I'm not mistaken. And then he had that feature. He had that feature on Things Fall Apart, of course. You know what I'm saying? That was dope. And my slept on MC is Jizza, because I think that album, like I said, why it was my slept on album, because it wasn't Liquid Swords, but as an MC, Jizza was still he was still sharp on that album. Like his concepts and wordplay and all that stuff, like he was just as sharp. It's just it wasn't the album people wanted, and it didn't have RZA production.
That's it right there. That's my question. When you say, I listened to that album probably 1, maybe 2 times and have never gone back to it since. When you say the album that people wanted, what do you think that people want? Or what do you mean by that statement?
They wanted Liquid Swords Part 2. They wanted more, street tales, right? Because, Jizza on Liquid Swords, like he was kind of telling most of the stories, right? He was telling like from third party, right? He wasn't necessarily saying I did this and that. He was basically telling the story as a narrator, kind of like what Nas did on Illmatic, on some joints, right? But I think Jizza on Beneath the Surface was more of who he was. Like, he's a chess player. He's a nerd. Like he's hanging out with freaking physicists, and shit like that, right? You know this now, like seeing years later. So I think that's really the album he wanted to make. That was himself. But the wordplay and his concept and all that was all still there. So
all throughout the album. What about that publicity, yo?
And MCing on there, that's what I'm saying. I think because he wasn't talking about the street and it didn't have the RZA production, people tuned out.
Now, I don't remember the production, which is essentially the problem. So you said Mathematics did these beats? Because a lot of times I think all it really is the beats. Because I was going to ask, like, how I feel about It Was Written. I feel like people shit on that because it said the track masters. But to me, the beats were dope. I feel like it's kind of like the flip. So I'm asking for you and Tony, you guys saying that if the beats were dope and if it would have said produced by RZA, people would love this album, or are the beats just good? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't front on Shootouts with the track masters. I thought RZA did that when I first heard it. It's an incredible beat. Do y'all think these beats are incredible? And if it would have just said produced by RZA, people would have been like, "Oh, we love this album."
I think there's a lot of dope beats. Like I like Breaker Breaker. I think was it Publicity? Publicity was another single. That joint was dope. I think like I said, the title track that Inspector Deck produced was dope. I just think it was different. Like even Breaker Breaker, Breaker Breaker was kind of it was a single, was kind of a hit, but if you listen to Breaker Breaker, it sounds much brighter than anything that was on Liquid Swords.
It's not no dark. It's not no dark RZA beast. So
exactly.
To me, I thought the production was good. Yeah. Dope production, but not nothing incredible. And it's not gonna leave you like, yo, I gotta listen to these, just the instrumental to this album like 1,000 times. It's not like that. There's dope beats and incredible rhymes, and it's a dope album, but it's not incredible. It's not production from 36 Chambers or Liquid Swords or Iron Man or Cuban Links. It's not on that level.
Right.
And I mean, I think sometimes, and I'm glad you said that, because I think that's the thing. Sometimes in conversations when we're like, yo, well, shit is dope. And it's kind of like with the Prodigy conversation. It's like, yo, Prodigy was still good. I'm like, good is not great though. You know what I mean? Like, dope sounds great, but it's not classic. You know what I mean? Whereas to me, it was written as a classic. Yeah. I think people just don't like it because it says produced by the Trackmaster. So I was just wondering if y'all felt like, oh, well, Beneath the Surface is a classic. It just don't say produced by RZA. But like you said, it's a dope album, but it's not classic. The beats aren't gonna.
No, it's not classic. It's maybe I might give it 4 mics.
Okay. Yeah, that's still good. Still some, still good. Dope. 4 mics is dope. Like, and Veg, what about you? Who was your MCs of the year?
MC of the year, I had Mos, for a lot of the same reasons y'all mentioned. Like, he could just do everything, and he was doing that, then some, on features on his album, all of that. On Slept On, I also had Pharoahe Monch, because like what I said earlier, there are people who were discovering him based off of Simon Says, and dude had been around with Organized Confusion and all that, which was shocking to me. But then there was certain people who were just discovering how nice he was also on the mic beyond, whatever club or radio hit. Real quick on the Beneath the Surface joint, I didn't necessarily like it myself. Had nothing to do with the lyrics. Jizza used to rap like Father MC. I'm not expecting nothing because he can do it all. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't think he was whack when he was a genius. So I was kind of open to whatever he was going to offer lyrically. Production wise, that was the thing that took away from it, because I think Liquid Swords production is so iconic from RZA. Yeah. Like, to step down to something that's just good feels like it's almost like calling it whack when it's not whack. I think it's one of his better albums, but it was sort of like a disappointment, because it kind of, you felt that Wu sound was kind of leaving at that point in time, even though he had Mathematics. Well, ironically, now when he makes beats for the Wu, they sound better than RZA's beats. So and they sound more like the Wu beats I'm talking about. So yeah, but I think I want to go back and listen to it, because I haven't heard that in decades. Yeah,
I was gonna say the same thing, Greg. Like, because I literally have not listened since it dropped. Were you gonna say now, Tron?
No, I was like vague when it came out. I'm like, I'm gonna get Gold, Bible, 4 Chamber, and this single, the video. Y'all remember the video? He was wearing a cowboy hat, and he was driving like an 18-wheeler, and he was like, had the stick,
I do.
Stick in his mouth, like breaker 19. I'm like, yo, Jizza, what? The album cover is dope. I'm like, Jizza then went from slicing, Shaolin swords and killer bees to you got on a cowboy hat saying breaker 19, about to pull over in the truck stop. I was disappointed. I ain't gonna lie, but based on what you and Tone said, and I'm gonna go back and re-listen to it, man.
I'm gonna re-listen, but I got a feeling them beats still ain't gonna catch me. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna be the thing. And Veg, I think it's to your point, like you said, it's kind of going back, and when you were talking about going from RZA, it's kind of like the boy for Sean out of LA. He did a joint with Alchemist that I loved. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. Then I think his regular producer is this boy Exile. And then he did another album with Exile. And I was like, nah, like, nigga, you can't do that. If you gonna go to Alchemist, you can't go back. Like, don't, like, it's like you can't have a Lex and then your car go in the shop and they try to give you, a Hyundai Excel or some shit like that. You're gonna be like, nah. Like, so I feel like, for Sean.
Oh yeah,
he did a like an EP with Alchemist that I love. So I'm like, yo, I can't wait to hear more. Then he dropped another album with I think his regular producer, his boy Exile. And again, it wasn't whack, but it's just like it's not Alchemist. You know what I mean? So it's almost like, dog, I don't know. Just as a producer, I'm always like, let's say Eddie, you were a producer and you did an album with Vegas, and now Vegas wants to do an album with me. I'm going to, and if people love y'all album together, that's my starting point. Like, when we make songs, I'm like, oh, it ain't better than that. Scratch it. Let's keep trying. Like, that's my goal as a producer, that I've got to match or double with the last person has done.
But here's the
with
thing,
Exile,
right? It's the thing with Exile is that Exile has a signature sound, right? So when Exile came out, I think he came out with originally came out with Aloe Black, like Emanon, right? And then how most people know him is his stuff with Blue and Exile, right? So then Fashawn came in as part of that collective Dirty Science. So it's like people that are fans of Exile and even Fashawn's first album, like they like that Exile production, right?
Right.
You know, it may not be for everyone. Obviously, it's a stark difference from what Alchemist does, but it's soulful. The way he does his samples and stuff is different. It's like night and day, like literally.
Oh, no, I
So,
told and you
I
know
get what
it's like
you're saying.
sour cream. I can't stand sour cream. Never eaten it. You know, it's not gonna happen. You know, people be at fucking Chipotle like, give me extra sour cream. So, you know, like I said, it's just not for me. You know, but it was like that Alchemist Fashawn album. I was like, yeah, I'm checking for this, because to me, again, it's like to me, MCing a producer is like a marriage. You know what I mean? And it's about both of them coming to the table to create something. So I was like, oh, I'm a fan of Fashawn, but maybe I really wasn't. I was a fan of Fashawn rocking with Alchemist. You know what I mean? Because then when I try to listen to his other stuff that's not produced by Alchemist, I don't like it. And it's not saying he's not a good MC, but again, my job as a producer is to make a good song. Like, it's not to just have bars, it's not to have a dope beat and dope bars, it's to make a good song. You know, and I just felt like that's not what they were doing. But again, everybody hears music differently, so, you know, and I know people who swear by Exile, but I just was like, I tapped into 2 joints, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna tap out. Like, you know, let me know when you fucking back with. Same thing with Currency. I don't love every Currency album. I love Currency when he gets with Alchemist. You know what I mean? There are other Currency albums I like, not as much as when he gets with Alchemist. You know what I mean? But again, that may be from me being a producer, so I'm loving what Alchemist is doing, and I just think they mesh well together. So that's it. Now tell me this, producer of the year. I've got Premier, which is kind of shocking. I didn't know who I was going to go with, but I just want to run down some things because people watching going to be like, come on, Kill, it's 1999, it's not 1995. Primo had Full Clip, Discipline, and All for Cash off the Full Clip double album. He had New York State of Mind 2 and Nas's Light, which could be a top 5 song of that year. I remember when they sent us a 12-inch for Nas's Light, it was like, yo, this motherfucker's back. You know what I mean? He did Thick by DITC, Fuck All You Bitch Ass Niggas for Screwball, the Almost Doesn't Count Brandy remix, Mathematics for Most, When I Be on the Mic and Waiting for the World to End for Rakim, Defeat for Afu Ra, Rap Phenomenon. I know it was off that big album, but that Rap Phenomenon beat with Meth and Red was dope. He did So Ghetto for Jay-Z. Supreme is my producer of the year. Slept on producer, I'm giving him Mad Lib again, because that Luke Pack album got played every 8 seconds on 889. So that's my producer of the year. And Slept on Neltron. Who you got?
Slept on producer?
Producer of the year and Slept on producer of the year.
I gave it to Havoc, man. Murder Music. I didn't mention it. It was in my top 5, but I really love that album. I actually heard that album before I heard the Infamous. That was the first. They didn't play Mobb Deep down here, y'all. So I got left out the loop with Hell on Earth and Infamous. But Murder Music, what Havoc did on there, I still love. Quiet Storm is one of the best songs.
Craziest beats
today.
And you know the crazy thing about that song? It has this light ass snare in it. Go listen to Quiet Storm. It has this light ass snare, and it's just like, yo, a song that hard, you would think would have like this crazy hard snare in it, and it doesn't. That just always bugged me out because I'm like, where's the snare? Like, it's like how Questlove be like, where's the bass line? And When Doves Cry, like, there's no bass line. Like, how does this nigga make a song with no bass line and it's the biggest song ever? But the same thing, like, how do you got this little triangle snare in this Quiet Storm joint? But yeah, definitely, that's crazy.
Slept on producer, I guess I'm gonna give it to Doom because nobody was checking for him. Like I said, his stuff isn't mastered, it's not mixed, it's not engineered right. It's just like, all right, I'm gonna loop this and just put it out there. So for me, he was Slept on producer.
I miss that about music. I hate these 25th anniversary reissues and we gonna remaster it. It's like, yo, if the shit is dope, the shit is dope. You know what I mean? So that's dope. Tone, who you got?
It's funny because I have DJ Premier also, and I listed all those songs you named. Crazy because people will assume that after like 94 to 96 era, people kind of slowed down. But then if you dig a little deeper, you're like, damn, he was still making all that heat. The same kind of beats he was making in 94, he's making in 99.
That's why I said for niggas watching, like, it's like Kill You stuck in 94, 95. Like, nah, let me run down this list because I know niggas was gonna be like, Cream ain't even do nothing that year. So
yeah, and you know how they're trying to change that narrative on Twitter and that, like, Primo got 2 beats that year or some shit. But and slept on, man, and not really slept on down here. And Nell might feel me on this is Man and Fresh, man. He had The Block Is Hot and Guerrilla Warfare. That nigga was killing, especially for the South. You know what I'm saying? Like Man and Fresh had brought a new sound, new flavor. You know what I'm saying? Guerrilla Warfare was on fire. You know what I'm saying? And then people slept. Lil Wayne first album was platinum. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Man and Fresh was killing. So yeah, Man and Fresh must slept on.
Tell me this, Tone. You're in North Carolina, and I want people watch who may not know. Neltron's in New Orleans, so when he keeps saying like that wasn't played down here, stuff like that. So, questions for both of you in a way. So, Tone, in North Carolina, the Hot Boys and all that shit got a lot of radio play.
Yeah.
Okay. Just asking because in Philly they did.
Man, they got run, man, especially when Juvenile backed that ass up and all that bling bling and all, you know, they got run. Even Master P and all them got run, you know what I'm saying? Like C Murder and all of them. And so, you know, because of North Carolina, we get the best of both worlds right here. That's what I try to tell people all the time. Like North Carolina, we rock with the South heavy, 8-Ball, all that, UGK, all that. But we rock with Mobb Deep and I mean, people know Nas my favorite rapper, Nas and Mobb Deep and everybody. So we get the best of both worlds. But yeah, the radios played Hot Boys all the time.
All right, and for you, Neltron, in New Orleans, the radio wasn't playing Mobb Deep and all that MOP and stuff like that.
Nah, none of that.
Wow,
no
that's crazy.
No Ja Rule, J. Rue the Damager, no Cellar Dwellers. I didn't get it. All I got was Daz Effects, maybe some Rakim, and it was very far and few between. So if I knew a hip hop head from New Orleans, that's how I knew about Kool G and DJ Polo. It's like, yo,
it's so crazy to hear that because you know you hear the South talk about how New York didn't play they shit, but now it's crazy to hear down South didn't play New York shit. So that's crazy. That's crazy. Eddie, who's your producer of the year and slept on?
I gotta go with Dr. Dre, man. Like, you know, that the sound on that 2001, and you know, I don't know when the rumors of whoever started Ghost Businessmen started.
Right there.
You know what I'm saying?
Right there.
that
right at that moment right there. Because Scott Storch is like, I did Still Dre, and Melman is like, I did the next episode. So right on that album.
But you know, the thing is that, you know, I'm still gonna give it to Dre just because, like, you know, he was still, whatever he may have people helping with, he was still executive producer. He was still, you know, drilling down to the minute fucking sounds of each and every song. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had his fingerprint on all of that. So for that reason, I'm gonna give it to Dre. And I agree with Neltron, man. I think MF Doom definitely the slept on producer, because I think that's an album, like, for me, first time I listened to that album back then, I was like, this ain't for me. And I think once I heard like some of his other stuff later on, like the Food album and some of the other stuff, even the joint, the Danger Doom with Danger Mouse or whatever. Yeah. But I went back. I wind up going back to Operation Doomsday, and it was like it clicked. But Doomsday, he produced all of that joint. You know what I'm saying? That was all him, all his concepts, all his production. And, you know, like, one of my favorite joints is the Hey, where he flipped that Scooby-Doo sample. Like, it is super dope, man.
All right, no doubt. What about you, Veg?
Producer of the year, I had Premier. Because I was looking at all the albums a little bit earlier today that came out and thinking about, who did what. At first I started thinking Dr. Dre because of the Chronic album and Eminem's album and all of that. But as I started to look at the albums, I'm like, nah, Premier was producing mad joints all over here and they were crazy. So I had Premier, and for Slept On I had Havoc, because I think a lot of Mobb Deep fans were so married to the sound he had before, which was a little bit more darker and muddier. And a lot of the beats on here, obviously Quiet Storm, are crazy. And I just think people stopped really talking about him production-wise. Probably because there was a lot going on. I mean, you got Dre doing stuff, you got Premier doing stuff, Manny Fresh is on the scene. Like, it was a lot going on, but I think Havoc production on Murder Music is slept on.
Dre was definitely the biggest producer that year when you think about Crown 2001 and the Slim Shady album. I mean, nobody was in, and those big next episodes and How My Name Is and all that. Well, if you look at it in the grand scheme, commercialized and all that, then it was Dr. Dre. If you look at it like that, nobody else look at it like that.
Yeah, and y'all know me. That nigga ain't producing. I can't as a producer. Almost like giving somebody credit as the dopest rapper that year, knowing he had ghostwriters. Like I can't give somebody. I can't give Nas.
They made production credits. The songs they contribute.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but here's the thing. Even if Nas came out, like we said, Mos Def. If Mos Def came out and said, you know what, Neltron wrote all my raps. He's giving Neltron credit, but he still didn't write his shit.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's the thing that people are like, oh, well, it really wasn't bad because he gave him the credit, but you didn't do it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you can't be, in my eyes, you can't be rapper of the year if you didn't write your shit, even if you admitted I didn't write my shit.
Did they collab on the beats? Because I thought Scott Storch just did the piano part. I didn't know he did the beats.
I mean, Scott said he did that. Scott said he did the Bilal Fast Lane joint that even got the tag in it that I never heard before. That this is Dr. Dre production.
Dre, right?
I've never heard that tag in anything else. Scott said he did that. And I mean, here's the thing. By this point, we all knew Melman's hands was in it. Like, this is where, like, my Best of Dre mixtape ends with Doggy Style. Like, that's where it is. Because right after that is where Melman, Scott Storch, and the thing that I believe about Scott is that Scott went on to make other hits. There's a lot of other people who'll be like, oh, well, Yella helped with the Chronic. And I'm like, okay, so where's Yella at? Well, like, if Yella helped do the Chronic and Yella helped do Niggas for Life, well, where's always starting something from Yella? So,
and you know what? It can stop at Doggy Style. If you think about Eazy-E to the end of their albums
that's good for me. Like, he's still. You go from Easy, you go Easy, DOC, Straight Outta Compton, Niggas for Life, 100 Miles and Running, the Chronic and Doggy Style. That's good for me. Right. That's it. You know what I mean? That's it. Disappointing albums. This year had a lot of disappointing. And it was funny because we've never done this before for a year. But I'm looking at the albums, I'm like, fuck. And I got Tash's Rap Life. I remember me and my man Jace was like, Tash was like our favorite MC. Like, it was like, oh, Tash coming out with a solo album, this is gonna be crazy. No, it wasn't. I love Goody Mob. World Party was not it.
No, that album cover was enough. I saw the album cover and I was like, nah, I'm not even gonna listen to this shit.
I love J. Rue the Damager, but Hero for Hire was not it.
Terrible.
OGC, The Empire Strikes Back was not it.
Oh, man.
Noriega, Melvin Flint was not it.
I think Porsche loves that album. I think Porsche loves that album. Don't Porsche love that album? I think so.
I don't know. It's a Beautiful Thing by Keith Murray was not it. A Tear for the Ghetto by Group Home was not it. And we all know Immobilarity was not it.
It was not it.
Why do y'all think it was so many disappointing albums this year? Or have I forgotten any? Do y'all have any extra ones that I didn't throw out there?
Did you say Amplified?
I had that on my list.
I actually didn't know people were that disappointed in that album.
Well,
but add it to the list. Talk about it.
Yeah, I you know, I don't think it's unlistenable, right? But it's still disappointing. I think, like, you know, he went to the well too many times. Like, he had Vibrant Thing, it was on the Violator joint. He went to the well too many times trying to have that same kind of joint. Like, Breathe and Stop was dope, but he had too many of those, right? Like, it needed to be a more balanced up. Like, what he wind up giving us with the
Renaissance.
What was
The Renaissance.
Yeah, with the Renaissance, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it was decent, it was good. I just think, like, it was disappointing. You know, Inspect the Deck, uncontrolled substance.
Well, here's the thing, Eddie. How are you defining disappointing? Because I'm sorry, maybe I'm using the word in the wrong way. Let's just call these whack albums. Let's say that.
Okay.
I feel like Immobilarity was whack. So disappointing.
Oh, yeah.
I get it. I see what you're saying. I used it the wrong way. That's my bad. I guess, why do you think there were so many whack follow-up albums, or just whack? And I hate to say Rap Life was whack, because I felt like Uncontrollable Substances was good. It just wasn't what we expected, which would be the true definition of being disappointing.
Right, gotcha.
I guess this list is more so like
the whack album.
Borderline, I hate saying whack, but just trash, but maybe whack. Like, The Empire Strikes Back was not a good album. Like, you know, J. Rule's Hero for Hire was not, nobody's listening back to that shit. You know, nobody, you know, and it just shows me people do not pay attention in the studio. And I get it. Some people just want to stay in their lane. I'm just like, God damn, J. Rule, you was in the studio all those times in D&D and you ain't see how to fucking program a drum, like just one drum, like anything. Like, you couldn't call up anybody to be like, how do you sequence something? What's up, Tom?
Did that Harlem World of Movement come out in '99?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I ain't like that shit.
Yeah. So, babe, what do you think? Why do you think all these whack albums was coming out, man?
Don't forget Nostra Garbage. That was also disappointing and whack. Some of us have angels. Some of us don't. Why is that on there? The verses was dope, but you know, it's hard to get past some of that stuff. I don't know, to tell you the truth, because it was a weird year with the releases. You know, we named a number of albums that were dope, with beats and rhymes and all of that. And I don't know, maybe it was a transition period for some artists in their career, because longevity in hip hop wasn't really common. So, like, somebody like Inspector Deck, he been missed his window. And then when you go listen to the album, it's not good. So it was just a bad all around. And then again, when you think about who else you name? Like Goody Mob, they probably were searching for something different from what they've done, so they went too far in one direction. I just think cats were just searching for a sound, maybe not necessarily a new sound, but just for inspiration, and they just put out albums, and some hit and some missed.
What are you gonna say, Eddie?
I have a theory about Immobilarity. I just thought about it when Vegas was talking. So Ray had only put out albums with Wu, and Cuban Links was a collaboration with Ghostface. Let's be 100% clear. You know, they were vibing, they were, you know, bouncing ideas off of each other, you know what I'm saying? Like, Ghostface imprint is all over that album. So Raekwon, Immobilarity, that was really his first album on his own, right? So there wasn't really RZA wasn't really a part of it. Ghostface wasn't really a part of it. And I think that was it. Like, maybe, you know, he didn't really have the creative juices like that without those guys.
I think it's like Veg said. I think a lot of people just lost their way that year. A lot of people were lost, you know. And before GPS, if you got lost, you may have just walked in the fucking circle, you know. I mean, it's easy for J. Rule and Group Home. You fucking lost Premier. Like, so that's that. Like Veg said with Goody Mob, like, maybe they didn't know. I don't even know if Organized produced Goody. I don't know if they produced that album. So, you know, you leave your producer. I don't think E Swift produced that Tash album Rap Life. You know what I mean? So we know OGC wasn't with the Beat Miners no more. I don't know if on this Melvin Flint, I know like Pharrell didn't do all of Nora's beats, but I don't know if Eric Sermon did It's a Beautiful Thing. So it almost feels like without your producer, we just talked about the beats for Beneath the Surface. Like this seems like it may have been that year when you didn't have the big name producer behind you, or even not big name, but just the dope ass producer behind you. And it's crazy because I'm looking at Immobilarity and I'm thinking about Pete Rock's Sneakers, which is the only banger on there. And then we're talking about Uncontrollable Substances, and I think about Trouble Man. That's the dope song on there for me that Pete Rock did. It's just, again, I'm always just wondering, why didn't y'all niggas go to Pete? If Pete is giving y'all fucking shining moments on these albums, I don't care who you talk to about Immobilarity, they'll be like, yeah, but Pete Rock Sneakers though. You know what I mean? Even Mike Geronimo's second album, which was Dead in the Water, you had that shit. I forgot what was that shit that Pete did for him that was crazy with the Marvin Gaye sample. I forgot it, but Pete was still saving niggas here and there. So I'm just shocked the Wu didn't reach out. Y'all got this nigga number. Like, I don't know why they wasn't reaching out to Pete more like that. Vague, where were you at in 99? Like, what was going on in 99? Some of the things I'm looking at is I was back to hosting 889, so I'm back in the mix again. We gotta, this is the year Big L passed away and was murdered. So we had that in 99. I felt like Rawkus was in full swing. And a lot of groups from I feel like the earlier 90s were on their last leg. Like Lords of the Underground dropped the album that year, Resurrection. And they did not resurrect themselves. Naughty dropped 1999, Nature's Fury. You know what I mean? Like, this was like Custer's last stand for a lot of groups. Shaheem dropped Man-Child. Like, this is where they're on it. And another thing that was happening a lot this year, and we've kind of touched on it, a lot of music started getting leaked this year. You know what I mean? Like, you got the Nas, you got the Mobb Deep. It seems like this is when we really first started seeing like albums getting leaked. But Vague, where were you in 99? Like, where was your walk? I know you're at Morgan.
Yeah, 99 I was at Morgan, probably what was supposed to be my senior year if I hadn't changed my major. And I was interning at EAA with the program director. Shout out to Kyle LaRue. I think for the most part it was a weird time because I knew graduation was coming soon. I would graduate the next year, and I was still in the clubs, but I was kind of trying to focus, which was part of the reason why I started interning, because I was just looking at like, yo, you're gonna be out of here soon. And I think with hip hop in general, it's a reason why I missed some of those albums, because I wasn't buying everything that came out. I was kind of buying what I liked or who I had listened to before. I probably was a typical hip hop fan, so if you were an older rapper and what you had wasn't hitting like that, I wasn't even going to press play on that. I was going to buy it, like, because Rakim put out an album, I think.
Right. He dropped the album that year.
So I just wasn't on everything. I almost didn't even have Eminem. I just bought that on just for a bus ride back to B-More from NY to listen to it, to check it out. But for the most part, I was still writing. I was still rhyming here and there. I made my first real demo in 99. Because in 99, I do have a where. I don't give too many true Vegas Hollywood stories, but in 99 was probably when I was going to pursue a record deal, because what I did was I made a real demo for the first time. Like, I had a demo from earlier, but this time I got, I paid for some beats and got some time, and I had a real demo. And I just remember, shout out to the homie Kel Spencer. I remember like he had the thing popping with Will Smith. My homie Coke he was ghostwriting for Foxy, and I had reached out to Nas, and it really happened in a weird way that I'm not going to go through the whole situation. Just a friend basically told him that I was rapping out here or whatever. So I was talking to Nas on a regular basis, and literally that was the crossroads of me deciding, am I going to be a rapper? Do I want to pursue this as the full-time thing I do? Or do I want to be the second person in my family to graduate college with all these siblings and nieces and nephews under me? Because if I don't follow my brother, do they follow me? And blah, blah, blah. So I chose academics over it. And I just remember at that time, being a little conflicted about, like, damn, but, you Will Cousin, you know them, you kind of got a little bit of something to get people to at least listen to you, you know what I'm saying? But I just didn't like the business. Like, I didn't like what I was seeing from him as a businessman at that time. I would have signed with Jay, right? Because I saw what he was doing with Bleak and Beanie and stuff like that. But with Nas, I kept seeing him fail, except for with himself, because he was a big artist. But when it came to the Firm album and all the things that was Ill Will Records, I just knew that label wasn't going to be around and I wasn't going to save it. And I didn't want that kind of pressure anyway, you know what I'm saying? But I'm kind of glad I chose what I did because, I never regretted it. Also, I wasn't going to be in the Bravehearts. I'm sorry. Nope.
Braveheart.
No disrespect, but I'm nicer than that. Sorry.
I feel you.
But yeah, it was just a lot going on that year with me and where I was going to head next. And that was my part in hip hop where, I had to make a decision and, I made the right decision. So.
All right, that's dope. Eddie, what was you doing in 98? I mean, 99.
99. I was in the Marines, man. So I started that year, I think it was in 29 Palms. I was in the desert in California. And then I wound up in Okinawa overseas. So definitely different, you know what I'm saying? I think limited access to buy music, because, the first place, I was in 29 Palms, it's like whatever they sold at the PX, but 29 Palms is not a big city, whatever, or whenever we go, whenever I go to, LA or whatever with my roomies, which was few and far between. And then, going overseas, it was basically the same thing. Going to the PX, like they had music shops out there, but, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Like hip hop section was all different, and I was, I think how I was staying up on music was really OK Player. I think around 99, like once OK Player started popping off, whatever, I was on there kind of keeping up with, what was going on. That was kind of my saving grace there.
All right, no doubt. So what about you in 99?
I've already graduated college. I'm grown and working in the professional field, but I'm in them clubs too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm deep in the clubs. I'm single still. I'm still chasing chicks and, hanging with some of the cousins still in the streets a little bit, having a good time, man. So, yeah, as far as the music, I was pretty satisfied though. I wasn't really mad, you know what I'm saying?
All right, no doubt. What about you now, Trump?
98, joined the military. 99, was in college, taking photography classes, shooting pictures all over the city. I just broke up with my old lady thanks to Donnell. He helped me, you know what I mean? And I was just enjoying life. I was, like I said, I was 21, hitting the casinos, hitting the strip clubs up, going to the clubs, and just really soaking in everything, man. Going and seeing a lot of concerts at that time. Yeah, it was a good year for me.
All right, that's dope. And again, it's just crazy to me. I guess albums were getting leaked before this, but I feel like maybe the Nas I Am was just a huge leaked album, because I still feel like to this day, it's like if the album came out the way it was supposed to come out, you know what I mean? We're looking at 3 5 mic classics from Nas dropping. You know what I mean? And it felt like this is when it started happening to a lot of bigger artists and everything like that. So yeah, you know, 99 was still a dope year. What you gonna say now, Tron?
One more album that was disappointing to me was the Nigga Please, Old Dirty Bastard album.
Yeah, I ain't like
it. Going from the Return of the 36, which is one of my favorite solo Wu albums, to that. I mean, it had Neptunes on there, but it just was very disappointing. I gave that shit away. Wow. So just wanted to mention that real quick.
All right. No doubt. All right, 99 is a dope year. Prayerfully, people who weren't around that time, you got a whole list of albums to check out and everything like that. Vay, talk a little bit about the album Bed-Stuy Vintage, man.
All right, Bed-Stuy Vintage, the album is out now on Vegas World Inc.bandcamp.com, as well as Apple Music and Spotify. Kill on all the production. It's a culmination of 30 years of rapping from myself. I typically like to do a lot of concepts on albums and be creative and do a little storytelling. Decided to just do bars. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So I got a couple of joints on there for boom bap heads from Hoodie Vegas to Rorschach Tests, and I got features like my homie Woods on the BK joint, and
Woods,
and what's the other
Rounds
one?
on that.
Yeah,
Rel.
Total Package. I was trying to remember the title. Total Package with Rel on there. You know, just some rapping shit, man. You know, just some bars to do. I like I said before, to kill. Yo, I think that's it. I think that's all I got. Like I think that's all I got, because that was probably one thing I wanted to do because of 30 years, which is a concept within itself. But yeah, man, if you haven't heard it, check it out. VegasWorldInc.bandcamp.com.
Yep.
And who knows? Maybe I recorded some other joints I just ain't sharing yet.
Yeah. And again, I think that story about you almost getting a deal rolls in perfectly for this, because somebody may have been listening like, man, is this nigga nice? Well, go check out the album. You can see for yourself. So definitely check that out. Eddie, where can they get at you, good brother?
Yo, man, I'm on Twitter right there at EddieD80. Yo, I'm on TikTok, man, just having fun posting music and shit like that, vinyl stuff. Neltron on there too, man. But yeah, man, I'm on Low End Marauder. Like I said on the last joint, man. Like, I ain't doing no damn TikTok dances or no challenges, man. But you know what I'm saying, I am posting music, vinyl and shit like that. It's a vibe, man.
All right, no doubt. Tone, where can they get at you, good brother?
Just hit me on Twitter, Enter the Dome, Tone the Dome, you know what I'm saying? The Dome Podcast on YouTube, man. Not hard to find, player. They come before me all the time over some dumb shit.
Hey, man, that's part of the game. I tell people every day, you can't hang out in a crack house and not expect the crackhead to want to talk to you from time to time.
True indeed.
We every day we choose to wake up and walk into a crack house. We cannot get mad. We cannot get mad when a crackhead is like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" It's bound to happen.
You just mush the crackhead out the way and keep walking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just bound to happen. They're gonna bother you. And Neltron, where can they get at you, fam?
Neltron 8000 on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
All right, no doubt. Rel's not here today, but we got to shout out that album. It's not you, it's me. That's at Jarrell. That's JARELL215.bandcamp.com. A whole album dealing with relationships, not just romantic relationships, all kinds of relationships. Produced by yours truly. We're finishing up back with Sweetie's new album. We got Tajay from Souls of Mischief on the first single. The video should be dropping next week. Prayerfully that comes together. I totally forget to shout this out. Ev's new album, Prophet, The Order of the Lyricist. I have a production credit on this joint right here. If you want to cop this, you can cop this at 7nms.com. Just go under the merchandise tab. And you already know this. Kill, Twitter, IG. I too am like Tone. There's always a crackhead. Somebody always wants some attention. Because I see some of the dumbest shit ever. The last thing I saw that was dumb as shit, and I think I talked about this Someone said Life After Death might as well have been an R&B album.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Jesus.
And that is J_JCOYLE. I like to shout out the crackheads and give them some love. He thinks Life After Death might as well just been an R&B album. So this is some of the crackhead shit for people who are like, damn, what are y'all talking about crackhead? Shit like that. Shit that only a crackhead could say. So
only a crackhead.
Only a crackhead.
The Jay said, do y'all listen to music or just skim through it?
Bro, I don't know. I
listen to skimming.
Yeah, I think crackheads don't make no sense, man. They don't make no sense, man. But yeah, shit like that is what I say. All right, good people. I will check y'all next week, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.